Chosen one, there is a reason your life has been so strange lately. A reason why certain doors closed while others opened in ways you never expected. A reason why you've been separated from people you once thought would walk beside you forever. Because God is teaching you something powerful before the blessing fully arrives. He is teaching you silence. He is teaching you wisdom. He is teaching you that when heaven places real abundance into your hands, not everybody around you deserves access to it. You are entering a season where money will no longer come from struggle alone. It will come from alignment, from divine timing, from opportunities that make no logical sense to other people. And the dangerous part is this. Many around you will suddenly become interested in your life the moment they sense favor resting on you. That is why this message found you now. Because when money comes from God, you cannot move the same way ordinary people move. You cannot announce every blessing. You cannot explain every breakthrough. You cannot expose every plan before it grows roots. Some things must stay protected while they are growing. Too many chosen ones lose their peace because they reach things too early. God gives them an idea, and they run to tell everybody. God opens a door, and they immediately seek validation. God sends increase, and they start showing everyone proof that they are finally winning. But wisdom whispers differently. Wisdom says, stay quiet because you are hiding not, because you are afraid, but because everything sacred needs protection while it develops. Look carefully at your life. Every time God was preparing something major for you, there was a season of isolation before it happened. A season where you felt misunderstood. A season where you felt hidden. That was not punishment. That was preparation. God was removing noise from around your spirit, because noise attracts confusion. Noise attracts envy. Noise attracts fake support. And some people clap for you publicly while secretly hoping your blessing collapses privately. The chosen one learns this the hard way. You start realizing that not everyone asking questions deserves answers. Not everyone smiling at you is celebrating you. Not everyone close to you can handle, clears throat, the weight of your elevation. And once God starts increasing your finances, this truth becomes even more important because money reveals people. The moment your life shifts, some people will suddenly remember you. Some will act supportive only because they see benefit in your growth. Others will try to guilt you for changing when in reality you are simply evolving. And this is where many chosen ones make a mistake. They think being spiritual means telling everybody everything. Jesus himself moved with wisdom. There were moments he performed miracles quietly. Moments he told people not to announce what happened. Moments he separated himself from crowds because not every environment deserved access to his energy. So why do you think you must expose every blessing before it matures? Some miracles grow stronger in silence. Some breakthroughs survive because they were protected from unnecessary eyes. You have to understand God is not just blessing you financially. He is teaching you stewardship. He is teaching you discipline. He is teaching you emotional control. Because sudden money without wisdom destroys people. You've seen it happen before. People receive abundance, then immediately begin performing for others. Luxury becomes their identity. N becomes their addiction. Validation becomes their fuel. And slowly peace disappears. But your path is different. God is calling you higher. The money coming into your life is not only for comfort. It is for assignment. It is for purpose. It is for freedom. It is for generational change. It is for the vision He placed inside you years ago when nobody believed in you. That is why you must move carefully, very carefully, because when God trusts you with increase, the enemy immediately studies your weaknesses. If pride is your weakness, distractions will appear. If loneliness is your weakness, fake relationships will appear. If attention is your weakness, opportunities to show off will appear everywhere. The attack is rarely against the money itself. The attack is against your mind, against your focus, against your spirit. The enemy knows if he can make you arrogant, impulsive, emotional, or careless, you can sabotage what God spent years preparing for you. This is why silence is power. Silence allows discernment to grow. Silence keeps your spirit clear. Silence reveals who truly supports you without needing access to your private victories. And chosen one this clearly. Everybody cannot go where God is taking you. Some people only understood the version of you that struggled. They were comfortable when you doubted yourself, comfortable when you lacked confidence, comfortable when you stayed small. But your elevation disturbs them because your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. So when money starts flowing differently in your life, do not feel guilty for protecting your peace. Do not feel guilty for becoming more private. Do not feel guilty for moving differently. The lion does not announce every move before it hunts. The eagle does not ask permission before it rises above the storm. And a chosen one does not need to explain every blessing God provides. Some conversations need less words. Some plans need less exposure. Some victories need less audience. Because the more God elevates you, the more important discernment becomes. You will notice people trying to measure your worth through what you can give them. You will notice subtle manipulation, people testing your boundaries, people expecting constant access to your energy, your time, your resources. And if you are not spiritually grounded, guide little will make you overextend yourself. But wisdom says something different. Wisdom says stewardship matters. You cannot save everyone. You cannot carry everyone. You cannot finance every emotional story people bring to your doorstep. Even Jesus walked away from certain crowds. Even Jesus rested. Even Jesus understood timing. And this next season of your life requires that same maturity, because the blessing coming is bigger than emotion. It is bigger than appearances. It is bigger than temporary applause. God is trying to establish you, not entertain people through you. That is why your spirit has been craving distance lately. That is why certain friendships feel heavier now. That is why your circle keeps getting smaller. Your soul is recognizing what your eyes are still learning. Everybody around you is not assigned to your future. Some were only assigned to a chapter. And one of the hardest lessons chosen ones learn is this: access is a privilege. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your mind, your plans, your finances, or your peace, especially when God starts elevating you, because people who did not build with you will suddenly want to benefit from me. You people who disappeared during your hardest seasons will suddenly reappear once the harvest becomes visible. But wisdom watches patterns carefully. Wisdom remembers who laughed when you struggled. Wisdom remembers who vanished when you needed support. Wisdom remembers who only calls when they need something. And this does not mean you become cold-hearted. It means you become discerning. There is a difference. A chosen one with discernment can love people without giving them control over their peace, can help people without destroying their own assignment, can remain humble without becoming naive. And God needs you to understand this before the next level arrives. Because once financial favor increases, pressure increases too. Pressure to impress, pressure to explain yourself, pressure to rescue everybody, pressure to maintain an image. But your mission is not to perform wealth. Your mission is to protect purpose. And the strongest people in the room are often the quietest ones. The people truly building something meaningful rarely need constant attention because they understand something deeper. Real power moves quietly. Real blessings move quietly. Spy. Real elevation moves quietly, and God is teaching you how to carry success without losing your soul. There will come a moment very soon when you will sit alone and realize your life is no longer matching the old version of yourself. The conversations will feel different. The environments will feel different. Even your thinking will begin changing in ways you cannot fully explain. And at first it may feel uncomfortable because growth always creates distance between who you were and who you are becoming. The chosen one often struggles during this stage because part of you still wants to bring everybody along. Part of you still wants people to understand your heart. You still hope certain people will celebrate your elevation the same way you once celebrated theirs. But life teaches a painful truth. Not everybody has the capacity to handle your transformation, especially when your transformation carries financial favor. See, people can tolerate your suffering much easier than your success. They can listen to your pain for years and remain comfortable. But the moment your life starts shifting upward, hidden emotions begin surfacing inside them. Comparison, envy, bitterness, competition. And many chosen ones ignore these signs because they lead with compassion instead of discernment. You keep giving chances, keep explaining yourself, keep shrinking your light so others feel comfortable around you, but eventually God allows exhaustion to teach you what wisdom was trying to show you earlier. You cannot continue dimming your destiny to protect insecure people. You cannot continue apologizing for blessings you prayed for in tears. And you cannot continue carrying people who secretly resent your growth. This is why silence becomes necessary, not dramatic silence. Not arrogant silence, but disciplined silence. The kind of silence that protects your peace while God builds your next level quietly behind the scenes. There are things happening for you right now that you do not even fully understand yet. Doors opening spiritually before they appear physically. Connections being aligned. Opportunities being positioned. Battles being fought in the unseen realm on your behalf. And sometimes the worst thing you can do is expose a developing blessing before its time. A seed grows underground first, not publicly, not loudly, quietly. And if you keep digging it up to show everybody, it never develops roots. That is exactly what happens when chosen ones constantly seek external validation for what God privately promised them. You must learn to let things grow in silence. You must learn to enjoy blessings without broadcasting them. You must learn to build without announcing. Every move, because some people do not need updates. They need distance. And that realization changes everything. The old version of you felt obligated to explain yourself to everyone. The wiser version of you understands that silence is sometimes the clearest answer. You do not owe the world access to your private journey. You do not owe constant proof that God is blessing you. And you certainly do not owe explanations to people committed to misunderstanding you. The moment you fully understand this, your peace multiplies. You stop arguing, stop oversharing, stop chasing approval. Stop trying to rescue relationships that God already removed from your path. And instead, you become focused on purpose, focused on stewardship, focused on protecting the life God is building through you. Because hear this carefully. The blessing NG coming into your hands is not accidental. You survived things that should have broken you completely. There were nights nobody saw, moments you almost gave up, moments you cried in silence while trying to appear strong for everyone else, moments you questioned whether God had forgotten you, but He had not forgotten. He was preparing your character before releasing increase. Because money magnifies who people already are. If someone lacks discipline before wealth, they become more reckless after it. If someone lacks healing before wealth, they become more unstable after it. If someone lacks wisdom before wealth, they become more vulnerable after it. That is why your delay was protection. God refused to let you receive certain blessings while your spirit was still emotionally attached to unhealthy people. He refused to let you rise while your discernment was weak. He refused to let abundance enter your life while you still confused access with loyalty. Now your eyes are opening. Now you are seeing differently. You are beginning to notice how some people only contact you when they need emotional relief. How some people drain your energy then disappear when you need support. How some people secretly study your life without genuinely loving you, and instead of becoming bitter, you are becoming aware. That awareness is wisdom growing inside you. Chosen one, your future requires boundaries, strong boundaries, not because you hate people but because purpose demands protection. You cannot build a peaceful future while allowing chaos unlimited access to your life. You cannot hear God clearly while surrounded by constant noise, and you cannot manage divine increase with an undisciplined spirit. This next season requires maturity, the kind of maturity that understands when to speak and when to remain silent, when to help and when to step back, when to give and when to protect, because many people will mistake your kindness for endless availability if you allow them to. And once money enters the picture, manipulation becomes even more subtle. Some people will suddenly treat you differently. Some will flatter you. Some will guilt you. Some will act entitled to what God gave you. And if your heart is not anchored in wisdom, emotion will make you vulnerable. This is why discernment matters more than appearances. A.P. Arson can smile and still carry hidden jealousy. A person can support you publicly while competing with you privately. A person can praise your success while secretly hoping you fail. The chosen one learns to stop judging people only by words. You begin watching patterns instead, energy instead, consistency instead. And this shift changes your entire life because once God elevates you, protecting your spirit becomes essential. You cannot afford unnecessary drama. You cannot afford constant emotional confusion. You cannot afford people who create instability around your purpose. Your assignment is too important now. And deep down, you already feel it. You feel that your life is moving into unfamiliar territory. You feel that the old cycle is ending. You feel that God is separating you from distractions that once felt normal. That feeling is not random. It is preparation. Preparation for a life that requires greater wisdom, greater discipline, greater silence. You are entering a season where less people will know what is truly happening in your life, not because you are fake, but because privacy is protection. Even Joseph kept certain things in his heart after our learning painful lessons about revealing too much too early. Even David spent seasons hidden before becoming king. Even Jesus disappeared into solitude repeatedly despite carrying immense power. So stop feeling guilty for becoming more private. Some of the greatest blessings grow in hidden places. And sometimes God intentionally removes applause so your identity stays rooted in Him instead of people's opinions. Because if praise controls you, criticism will destroy you. That is why God has been teaching you emotional independence, teaching you how to stand alone, teaching you how to move without constant validation, teaching you how to trust Him quietly even when nobody understands what He is doing in your life. And one day, people will look at your peace and wonder how you became so strong. They will not understand the isolation that built you, the betrayal that sharpened your discernment, the silence that deepened your wisdom, the hidden battles that strengthened your spirit. But you will know, you will remember every lonely season that prepared you for stability, every delay that protected your future, every disappointment that redirected your destiny. And when the financial doors fully open, you will not move with pride. You will move with caution, with wisdom, with gratitude, with discernment, because now you understand something most people never learn. Not every blessing needs an audience. There is another reason God has been teaching you to stay quiet when blessings begin flowing into your life. Because He knows how quickly people change once money becomes involved. Some people love your spirit until they realize favor is attached to you. Then suddenly their intentions shift, conversations shift, energy shifts. And the chosen one often notices this before anyone else does because your discernment has become sharper through pain. You start feeling when people are watching your life instead of genuinely caring about you. You start sensing when someone's support is tied to what they can gain from you. You start recognizing when your presence inspires people and when it secretly triggers them. That awareness is not paranoia, it is spiritual maturity. God has allowed you to experience enough betrayal to stop ignoring your instincts because for too long you kept doubting what your spirit already knew. You kept giving people the benefit of the doubt while your soul felt exhausted around them. You kept reopening doors God quietly closed. You kept over-explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. But now, something inside you is changing. You are becoming more still, more observant, more disciplined with your energy. And this transformation is necessary for where you are going. Because abundance without discernment becomes dangerous. A lot of people pray for money, but very few pray for the wisdom required to manage the attention that comes with it. That attention can destroy weak-minded people. It can make them performative, arrogant, careless, addicted to appearances. But your calling is deeper than appearances. God is not just trying to make you rich. He is trying to make you stable. Stable emotionally, stable spiritually, stable mentally. Because if your emotions control you, people will manipulate you through emotion the moment they sense you are blessed. And many chosen ones struggle with this because your heart is naturally compassionate. You want to help. You want to uplift people. You want to be there for everyone. But wisdom eventually teaches you something painful. Some people do not want help. They want access, access to your energy, access to your resources, access to your peace. And if you are not careful, you will spend years pouring into people who were never assigned to your future. That is why God has been pulling you away from certain environments lately, not to punish you, to protect you. Because there are rooms you cannot carry into your next season. There are conversations that drain your spirit. There are habits that sabotage your focus. There are people who only feel comfortable around the version of you that lacked confidence. But you are no longer that person. You are evolving, and evolution always makes old environments uncomfortable. That is why your circle keeps shrinking. You are entering a season where quality matters more than quantity, peace matters more than popularity, purpose matters more than appearances, and silence matters more than attention. The old version of you may have wanted everybody to witness your success, but the wiser version understands that public validation is temporary while private peace is priceless. You no longer need to prove anything, not your worth, not your growth, not your blessings, because what God is doing in your life is becoming undeniable even without announcements. People can feel the shift without you explaining it. They can sense the confidence growing in you, the calmness, the discernment, the emotional discipline. And sometimes your silence will bother people more than your words ever did. Because silence removes access. Silence forces people to reveal their true intentions. Silence exposes who only valued you for information, attention, or emotional convenience. You begin learning who truly supports you even when they are not constantly updated on your life. That lesson changes everything. Chosen one, hear this carefully. Not every opportunity needs celebration immediately. Not every blessing needs exposure immediately. Not every plan needs discussion immediately. Move wisely. Until things are established, protect what God is building. Because spiritual attacks often increase when purpose becomes visible. The enemy attacks momentum. He attacks focus. He attacks clarity. And one of the fastest ways he creates confusion is through unnecessary voices entering your space. Too many opinions, too much access, too much exposure. That is why some of your greatest growth will happen privately in hidden seasons, quiet seasons, seasons where God teaches you to rely less on applause and more on discernment. Because once you become addicted to external validation, people gain power over your emotions. Their approval lifts you. Their criticism crushes you. And God refuses to let your identity depend on unstable people. So he separates you, strengthens you, teaches you how to walk alone when necessary. At first it feels lonely, but eventually you realize solitude can be sacred because isolation taught you things popularity never could. It taught you how to hear God, clearly how to trust your instincts, how to protect your energy, how to recognize manipulation faster, how to sit in silence without needing distraction. And these lessons will preserve your future. The money coming into your life is not just a reward, it is responsibility. Responsibility to manage wisely, responsibility to stay grounded, responsibility to avoid becoming consumed by ego. Because many people lose themselves the moment they start winning externally. They become obsessed with image, obsessed with proving people wrong, obsessed with looking successful instead of actually building a meaningful life. But God is calling you towards something deeper, a life with peace attached to it, a life with purpose attached to it. A life where you are not constantly exhausted trying to maintain appearances for people who do not truly care about your soul. And to protect that kind of life, wisdom is required. Serious wisdom. The kind that understands every battle does not deserve your response. Every invitation does not deserve your presence. Every person does not deserve access. And every blessing does not deserve publicity. Some things are safer in silence until God says otherwise. You are finally learning this. That is why your spirit no longer enjoys certain conversations. Why gossip drains you now. Why fake energy becomes obvious quickly. Why your tolerance for chaos has become lower. You are growing spiritually, and spiritual growth changes what your soul can tolerate. There are places you used to fit into that now feel uncomfortable because your spirit has outgrown them. Do not ignore that feeling. God is leading you away from environments that cannot support your future because where you are going requires focus, discipline, clarity. You cannot carry unnecessary emotional weight into the next level, and you definitely cannot carry people who secretly resent your elevation. That resentment becomes dangerous once blessings become visible. So stay grounded, stay prayerful, stay discerning, stay humble, but also stay wise. because humility does not mean allowing everyone unlimited access to your life. Jesus was humble yet selective, loving yet discerning, powerful yet private at times. That balance matters, and God is teaching you that balance now, before the next door fully opens. One day you will look back and understand why certain relationships had to end, why certain friendships faded, why certain seasons felt lonely, because isolation was preparing you for stewardship, preparing you to carry abundance without losing your peace, preparing you to handle success without becoming arrogant, preparing you to recognize that the greatest flex is not loud wealth. It is quiet stability, a peaceful mind, a protected spirit, a disciplined life, and a relationship with God that remains strong whether people applaud you or